which law is going to permit the ECZ chairperson to continue with the elections when somebody has withdrawn from the race? Which law? Do you now realize, Mwebena Zambia, when we keep on insisting that you cannot appoint cadres to head the Electoral Commission of Zambia? This is the result.
Welcome to Zambia Today Television, where stories unfold. And today we delve into a developing story that has sparked national debate. Nkana Member of Parliament Binwell Mpundu has issued a fiery accusation against the Electoral Commission of Zambia, or ECZ, claiming a breach of the Republican Constitution. Let's break it down.
It is the Commission's desire to see elections held successfully within the stipulated time and scheduled dates. If you decide to resign, we're just going to continue. If one wants to stop us, they have to go to court.
Honourable Binwell Mpundu has accused ECZ Chairperson Mwangala Zaloumis of violating Article 52(6) of the Constitution. This, he alleges, follows Zaloumis's reported stance that the ECZ will not cancel elections when candidates withdraw, a position Mpundu says flies in the face of Zambia's legal framework.
Zaloumis, you are going to proceed with what law? Of course, we have seen in the recent past where the ECZ has deliberately, thrown away even court judgments. You saw in the case of Bowman Malanji and Bowman and Malanji, where they were stopped from participating in those elections, even when the Constitutional Court had ruled that they were eligible to stand. They were barred by the ECZ. They are serving whose interest? The UPND's interest. You've seen, we have proceeded to have elections in Kawambwa. We have proceeded to have elections, Kawambwa Council Chairperson and the Kawambwa, parliamentary seat. We have proceeded to have elections despite there having been a court stay or an injunction. We have proceeded to have those elections. Why? Because the ECZ are more powerful. They can't even respect a court. Now today she's telling us we will proceed even if one withdraws against what the Constitution provides. And you, the Zambian people, you are even comfortable that we are going to have a credible election with such kind of mentality, with such kind of a leadership at the ECZ.
Article 52(6) is explicit in its directives. And to underscore his argument, Mpundu cited the 2022 Constitutional Court case of Governance Elections Advocacy Research Services, or GEARS, versus the Attorney General and the ECZ. This case, a landmark in Zambia's electoral jurisprudence, clarified the obligations of the ECZ in such scenarios.
And it is the ECZ that can guarantee credible, free and fair elections. And now we have a referee who is saying, to hell with the law. I am, the Almighty. I decide, and what I decide must be. That is what the chairperson is telling us. Like this, you are going to be summoning me ku police every now and then because 13 deki okulanda inefi. Like this. If you fear namula mvundu namula nkadifia, elo kuku dele elo ku. There's nobody who should be allowed. There's nobody, not even the president, can be allowed to abrogate the Constitution. It's an impeachable offense for the president. It calls for a removal of an officer who abrogates the Constitution. That is what deliberately Zaloumis is telling the Zambian people, that to hell with the law. If over UPND we don't respect the law. That is what Zaloumis is telling us.
He emphasized that failing to adhere to this directive not only violates the constitution but also undermines Zambia's democratic process. And in a bold statement, Mpundu dared the ECZ to proceed if they believe they are above the law.
Draw muntu muma by elections, you have to start afresh, you have to go for nominations. You try. Paka vyo muntu akachite withdraw, mukeshe by ECZ, you try and continue in that election. Pantu mule mwana kwa tulifubasana ifwe na Zambia, you try. And I'm warning you, I'm placing it on record, you try. Let's give it a try. Pantu mule mwana kwa chifotu alitumpasa na ifwe na Zambia, that you can continue doing what you have been doing, setting the law aside. You try. And I want to be on record. I am warning you by ECZ. Ngamuli ba umenaba na kashi with the sword or your sword. If you think you are all powerful, you try and proceed in that election when somebody has withdrawn. You try. You try. Nami soka and I've given you a challenge. Paka with your muntu akachite withdraw and you proceed with this warning that the ECZ will proceed with the election when somebody has withdrawn. You try. Ngamuli bantu sana, ngamuli ba umesana, you try. Mule mvonde mweba. Tetube chalo, ichakwe bati, mule chitafefyo mule fuaya. Kwa tinakali muni muitanga liya ngombe. You think that this is your farm, you can do as you please, you can set the law aside. Besides, if in there mwebe na Zambia, let me just read for you. This is not just the constitution. Even a court judgment has pronounced that. In the case of, let me look out for that case. Okay? In the case of Governance Elections Advocacy Research Services versus the Attorney General. Okay? This is a case of 2022. The court ruled, for the avoidance of doubt, we wish to state that in terms of Article 52(6) of the Constitution, where a political party-sponsored candidate for election as a member of parliament resigns after the close of nominations, but before the election date, the Electoral Commission is obligated to cancel the elections and call for fresh nominations from eligible candidates and call for fresh elections in accordance with Article 52(6). The court has even pronounced itself as early as 2022. The Constitution has stated that, and the court has even put a precedent on that. But by ECZ to that the elections will proceed. You try. You try. Ngamuli ba nakashi ngamuli ba ume imwe ba chipenzi na ba Zaloumis. You try. Ngamuli ba nakashi na ba ume. You try.
The ruling reinforced the sanctity of the Constitution, declaring no institution or individual above the law. This decision was hailed as a victory for democracy and a reminder of the importance of adhering to Zambia's supreme legal document.
Mwangala State Council has warned that the Commission will not tolerate candidates withdrawing from the race after nominations, as if it happens, elections will still proceed.
With the nation gearing up for a politically charged election season, Mpundu's accusations put a spotlight on the integrity and credibility of public institutions. Will the ECZ comply with constitutional provisions, or will it risk accusations of undermining democracy?
The nation's desire to see elections held successfully within the stipulated time and scheduled dates.
As the situation unfolds, Zambians are waiting anxiously for the ECZ's next move. What are your thoughts on this developing story? Share your opinions in the comments below, and let's engage in this important national conversation.